As you can see, I guess on the release of those econs, and really this is purely a function of as long as the U.S. Is perceived to be continuing to raise interest rates going forward, I think the U.S. dollar index itself continues to move higher. I heard lots of talk in the public about 112, and I noticed 877s are also that, and this bull ABCD takes us up into that area. I wouldn't be surprised if, September, October-ish, we're up in that neighborhood. Is this a buy right here, right now? I don't think so. I think that's this is really late in the trade. And if we were going to be bullish, we should have been bullish back when it was Wing out right down in here. And that was actually, geez, almost a month ago now. So we're very sort of late into this move. Kind of like the Apple. Do you want to come in and short Apple there? Probably not. Is this a buy? If anything, the way I would look at this is it's too late to sell, too early to buy. You just got to let the damn thing play out now. As just finish this off, and then we'll head on over and touch base with TRI CTO. Good old Bitcoin. I noticed last night we had a W come in on the RSI there over on Ethereum. I didn't really get a very good look at W on Bitcoin. And I get the impression this looks like a megaphone here. And as I said, like one guy, we have a Russian guy on the site, Just Ice. Very proud to, he's turned it into one hell of a good trader. I'm so proud of him. Putting up with the Beamish's nonsense and stuff, but just doing his thing. And he said he was short, took a nice profit here this morning, left a little bit of a runner on, which is always a good idea if you can. And if this thing does, continue just to walk its way down these trend lines, he'll do fine. And I get the impression that we got a megaphone working here. So I get the impression that sort of like, September 1st kind of idea. Unless a big W comes in here, this RSI study looks like just poop to me. And this is one reason why I don't like using RSI. Is you can go through very orderly market structure, and the M's and W's and different colors of systems works really well. We got a signal here. Okay, bulls, just cool your jets. So if anything, I think that's right. And then all hell breaks loose. Look at this mess. There's no structure to this at all. Making higher highs, making lower lows. This is just everything to me says leave this thing alone. Just don't touch it. It's a mess. One thing I did notice, like I said last night, and I was curious about this, is that ETH did go in and put in this W here, and we've rallied up. But I also noticed, too, recently, 38.2 failure rally. This is basically our course material. We should expect 38.2 bounces off of ranges, and then you want to see how does the market act at that 38.2. And here we just puked right out. So we did the same thing, dead cat bounce right into 38.2s. We actually went a little bit beyond, probably 50% of that range. Interesting how we bumped up against this old previous market structure uptrend line. And now what once was support is now turning into resistance. That's a really good illustration of that. What once was support now turns into resistance, I think is actually a pretty good tell there. So with all of this going on, and we did have the W that came in and said, bears, you better cool your jets. We rallied back into this trend line resistance. And my big question was, of course, this was a huge bear div. So a really good tell that, hey, maybe this wasn't sustainable. You notice that really what this did on the RSI was made like a wedge. And we're trying to recapture the uptrend. Again, really good example. What once was support now appears not necessarily resistance, but we got to see some market structure. If we W here, then rock on. The bull's back on. If we M out here, well, then it means probably more poop ahead of us. And then one thing I kind of noticed, especially with the other markets looking the way they are, notice that it kind of looks like we have a trend line confluence down here, right around 88.6. And then notice, I thought this was interesting. Hopefully you can see there's a bit of a head and shoulders here. So I won't draw it out just because I'm running out of time here, but shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline. If that's the case, then our ultimate technical objective should be a test of this trend line, this trend line, this trend line, and this trend line, all right in that area, right at the bottom of the reload zone, which would be totally normal, right? That would just be business as usual in trading land. Also, too, if you go back and you watch ETH, I've seen this before. ETH has like a fundamental event, and the market actually tops out a week or two, maybe even a month ahead of the fundamental event. I've seen this happen a few times now. So it really doesn't surprise me what's happened here. And then the final thing I'll say is 2.618 foggy boggies. If we rally up into a fog and bomb and then we can't hold on to it and we fail, usually what I've found is that we have to go right back down and check the original breakout. So again, that's sort of painting down here. Believe it or not, I really like a nice little dump into this area through the Labor Day weekend. That to me actually seems very realistic.